Welcome back to my series of Harry Potter reviews leading up to Fantastic Beasts 3 next year, as well as celebrating the 20th anniversary of this franchise. I already talked in great detail about the Sorcerer's Stone. This year is the 20th anniversary for that movie. Next year is the 20th anniversary for this movie, but I decided not to wait. Once I had done the Sorcerer's Stone, I had to talk about all the rest of the Harry Potter movies. So now let's talk about Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The Chamber of Secrets takes place in Harry, Ron, and Hermione's second year at Hogwarts, in which the legendary Chamber of Secrets has been opened at Hogwarts for the first time in 50 years by the heir of Slytherin. Students are turning up petrified, and everybody starts to believe that Harry is the heir of Slytherin, especially since he is starting to learn more about himself. As Harry, Ron, and Hermione continue to investigate, they learn about the dark secrets of the Chamber of Secrets. The Chamber of Secrets really benefits from the fact that we actually don't have to learn much about this world. Yeah, there's new things introduced in the Chamber of Secrets. Like, for instance, Polyjuice Potion, where you can take a piece of somebody's hair, put it into this little potion, and then once you drink that potion, you become them. That happens in this movie. Harry, Ron, and Hermione are seeking information from Draco Malfoy about who the heir of Slytherin might be. So Harry and Ron decide to disguise themselves as Crabbe and Goyle by using Polyjuice Potion, which is a really, really interesting part of the movie, and I really find that part of the movie really fun and funny because both Harry and Ron have to act like Crabbe and Goyle, and it just makes for some good humor, especially this line.
Why are you wearing glasses?
Reading.
Reading? I didn't know you could read.
Now, rumor has it that on the set, when they were filming that sequence, Tom Felton actually forgot his line, so he improvised, and it makes all the perfect sense in the world. Of course he would think Goyle couldn't read. So we were introduced to new things like that, and we were also introduced to some really wacky, zany characters like Gilderoy Lockhart, played by Kenneth Branagh. My God, where does Dumbledore hire all of these Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers? Does he perform background checks on them? There's moments in the film where he's about to do a spell and everybody's like, no, please, no, not around me. Or there's this one scene where Harry, Ron, and Hermione come across a message written in blood on the wall, and Lockhart says something and Dumbledore just gives him those eyes where it's like, sure you will. Dumbledore is the worst hiring manager ever. But what makes Gilderoy Lockhart so funny is the fact that he thinks he knows all these spells, but he doesn't. He's just a fraud. He is just taking what other wizards know and applying that to himself, but he's wiping their memory so that they go loopy and mad and crazy so that they don't even know that he is, like, basically stealing their identity. He's basically committing identity theft, which is insanity when it comes to Harry Potter world. I actually never really made that parallel until I just mentioned that. That's actually strange.
Heart of a lion, this one.
The adventure ends here, boys. But don't fret. The world will know our story. How I was too late to save the girl. How you two tragically lost your minds at the sight of her mangled body. So, you first, Mr. Potter. Say goodbye to your memories. Oblivion! Hello. Who are you?
I didn't talk a lot about their performances in the first one, but I mean, when you have children, when you have kid actors that are this good, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson are just so good around each other and just so good around everybody. I feel like they bring out the best in everybody's acting ability. And I feel like if you're having a down day on set, they're gonna bring out the best in your personality. That's what these three do. And it's not just Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson. It's the fact that the three of them are playing Harry, Ron, and Hermione, our main heroes. And you buy their sense of friendship. That's what I love. The Dursleys are still in this movie, and they're more rude and evil than ever. Ugh. At least they were nice enough to give Harry Dudley's second bedroom. What child has a second bedroom, spoiled little brat?
I'm warning you. If you can't control that bloody bird, it'll have to go.
But she's bored. if I could only let her out for an hour or two.
Well, so you can send secret messages to your freaky little friends? No, sir.
But I haven't had any messages from any of my friends. Not one. All summer.
Who'd want to be friends with you?
I should think you'd be a little more grateful. We've raised you since you were a baby, given you the food off our table, even let you have Dudley's second bedroom purely out of the goodness of our hearts.
And in this bedroom, we are introduced to Dobby. As you can tell, I'm jumping around a lot here, but let's focus on Dobby for a minute, because Dobby runs the risk of being the Jar Jar of the Harry Potter series. Luckily, he isn't. I love Dobby. My mother loves Dobby. Every time she sees this movie, she is glued anytime Dobby is on the screen. Dobby is not annoying whatsoever. I've never really understood that argument that people think Dobby is super annoying. He's a house elf. You understand where he's coming from. Like, damn, you feel bad for the poor thing. He's wearing what? Raggedy old pillowcase that they turned into a gown? The poor thing, man. But he comes with a warning for Harry, and right away the movie sets up a sense of mystery, because when he gives that warning to Harry, it's like, well, what could be this warning? And he's manipulating a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you really don't know about until later on in the movie, which I think is actually a brilliant way of how this movie's narrative plays out, and actually how the book plays out too. Luckily, the movie skips Nicholas Flamel's death day party, because that was just not necessary. But the rest of the narrative actually plays out in a very similar way that the book does. The barrier to platform 9 3/4 is now sealed shut, and Ron and Harry have to take a flying Ford Angela to Hogwarts, and they are seen by the Muggles. It makes for a really exhilarating sequence. I've always loved the part where they're on the bridge and the train is right behind them and they're yelling, and then Harry almost falls out of the car because he opens the door and he has to pull himself back in. Whomping Willow once they get to Hogwarts, that's a really good scene. Everything in this movie just took what the first one did and brought the magic level up to another level. And I feel like it's because we didn't have to buy into the rules of how this world operated. We already know how it operates, so anything that we see that's new isn't really going to be all that surprising. I think that is a total strength for this movie, because even if it isn't surprising, it's still gonna have that wow factor and put a giant smile on your face. I love that about the Chamber of Secrets. I also love learning a lot more about Tom Riddle's past. Tom Riddle is actually Lord Voldemort, and that he is actually the heir of Slytherin, because for most of the movie, you're led to believe that Draco could be the heir of Slytherin, because the main trio is trying to prove that Draco is the heir of Slytherin. However, many students in the school start to believe it's Harry because he can speak to snakes, just like Salazar Slytherin could. And so that presents an even greater mystery than what we had in the first one, and when those secrets are actually revealed that Harry is not the heir of Slytherin and it's actually Tom Riddle, and that he opened the Chamber of Secrets, and that he framed Hagrid 50 years ago. Poor Hagrid, man. I just want to hug him. And that the monster that is petrifying everybody is actually a giant serpent in the Chamber of Secrets. I love the third act of this movie. Let's talk about a character we have yet to talk about, and that is Lucius Malfoy. Jason Isaacs. Jason Isaacs plays Lucius Malfoy like he just completely disappears into the role. This dude is evil.
Evil! Evil!
My God, what a garbage human being. He's worse than Draco. He's worse than the Dursleys. It's insane how bad this family is. And at first, you think that there could be a bit of a difference between Draco and his father. I'm actually happy that they cut a scene in the theatrical cut that ended up in the extended cut, because the extended cuts for the first two movies are actually just the deleted scenes edited back in. And I want to talk about the extended version in a minute after I talk about this, but there was a scene in the extended version when Harry takes the flu powder at the Weasleys and he ends up in Nocturne Alley. He ends up in Borgin and Burke's. In the extended cut, that's where you first meet Lucius, and you see just how vile and evil he is. While it's a great scene, I'm grateful that it was cut, because I think the way that his entrance is presented in the theatrical cut serves the menacing nature of his character better. Because at first he's just like, now, Draco, play nicely. But then you listen to the conversation he's having with the Weasleys and Harry Potter and Hermione, and you slowly start to realize, This dude is a piece of shit. Yeah. See, I didn't really get that with that scene in the extended version at Borgin and Burke's. I prefer the first scene with Lucius being the scene where he meets the gang in Flourish and Blots. Now let's talk about that extended version for a minute. This isn't going to affect my grade of the movie or anything. It was just something I noticed on this watch of the extended version, how poorly edited it is. Again, I'm not holding it against the movie because, strictly speaking, a lot of people have probably only seen the theatrical cut, but having the luxury of having this movie on Blu-ray and them having the extended version of this movie on Blu-ray, the editing is not very good when they added in the deleted scenes. The scene where Harry finds Tom Riddle's diary and he's flipping through it, there's a part where a ghost is looking at him and he's like, "Do you mind?" There's a much more natural flow in the theatrical cut compared to some jumpy moments in the extended version, and you can obviously tell where they had to edit around the theatrical version scene, and it was very jarring for me. So there are moments like that in the extended cut, but I'm not going to take that into consideration when I grade this movie because I feel like most people have only seen the theatrical cut. It's just something that stood out to me watching the extended version of this film. It's not just that scene, it's a couple of other scenes. There's also spiders in this movie. The giant spiders.
Can we panic now?
No small spiders. Look, I thought the spiders of Mirkwood in The Hobbit were bad. I thought Shelob in Return of the King was bad. There's like thousands of these things and I can't handle it. Oh my god. Yeah, I've got arachnophobia for those that don't know. So yeah, watching the spider scene is a bit hard. I'm like, Ron, I don't like spiders. I don't even like damn ants. If this was ants, I'd be scared shitless too. And Aragog is just so... My mindset is like Ron in this scene.
Wait, spiders? Why couldn't we follow the butterflies?
Now, there are some exposition-heavy sequences in this movie. For instance, when Hermione asks McGonagall about the legend of the Chamber of Secrets, it's just a huge info dump about the founding fathers of Hogwarts and how 3 of them wanted to accept all different kinds of students, but Salazar Slytherin was like, "No! We have to accept purebloods, and you guys are wrong, and I'm gonna break away." So stuff like that can get a bit irritating, especially as you get further on into the movie, and the movie is literally explaining almost all of the background details to you, like, "Oh, hey, this is Tom Riddle. Oh, hey, here's what's in the Chamber of Secrets. We figured it out." Yeah, movie, we get it, okay? Yet, I know that's in the book, but still, I mean, you can maybe shorten some of that. The Quidditch scene in this movie is a lot better. I enjoy this one a lot more than the Quidditch scene in the Sorcerer's Stone, not just because the CGI looks much improved compared to the Sorcerer's Stone's Quidditch match. It's just, I think there's a lot more going on in this Quidditch match. Like, Harry's being chased by a rogue bludger that is sent by Dobby, of all people. Little house elf, but he's still so cute. You can't blame him. The fact that they're playing Slytherin again and now Draco is part of the Slytherin Quidditch team and he's the Seeker and he's competing with Harry. They're actually going through these tunnels chasing the Golden Snitch and they're like hitting each other. It's a really intense and really fun sequence. The fact that Gryffindor is actually losing the match when Harry catches the Golden Snitch. I love almost every single aspect about this Quidditch scene. Yeah, does it still suffer from that balloon people type thing with the CGI? Yes, but it's nowhere near as noticeable as it was in the Sorcerer's Stone. This movie also has really good use of practical effects. The basilisk, I'm assuming, was practical. I would be very shocked if that thing is CGI'd. And if it is CGI'd, holy shit, for 2002, if that thing is CGI'd, that was brilliantly done. I am a firm believer, though, that that is a practical creature. And all the practical effects in these Harry Potter movies, no matter if it's The Sorcerer's Stone, Deathly Hallows Part 2, this one, Goblet of Fire, whatever it may be, very, very well done, as always. I have a lot of fun watching the Chamber of Secrets. There's a lot of mystery. We don't have to feel like we are learning about this world. There is some exposition dumps with some characters and some background to the story and how the story is presented. I also do think that with the Chamber of Secrets, this can be a bit interchangeable between the Sorcerer's Stone. Since they are both directed by Chris Columbus, they both have the exact same tone, just about. So, say if I wasn't a reader of the books or I hadn't seen these movies 1,000 times like I have, If I was watching these for the first time and you asked me what my favorite scene was and I said, oh, I like the basilisk scene in the Sorcerer's Stone, you would probably totally believe me when I say that that's the Sorcerer's Stone, because you see, it's easy to get the two mixed up, I feel like, and this is the longest Harry Potter film. This is at 2 hours and 41 minutes, so it's just about the same runtime as the first one, and they're a bit interchangeable, so I feel like you could easily get the two mixed up. You could get the order of events mixed up. It feels like the narrative is structured very similarly to the first one, but the rest of the movie, with all of its great scenes, practical effects, quotable dialogue.
Let us hope Mr. Potter will always be around to save the day.
Don't worry. I will be.
Yo, murdered my cat. I want to see some punishment! I did that in a review recently.
Dobby, sir. Dobby, the house of Harry Potter must tell Dobby he's not going back to school.
Can't. Hogwarts is my home.
Then Dobby must do it, sir, for Harry Potter's own good.
I'll be in my bedroom, making no noise and pretending that I don't exist.
Too right you will.
I can recite this entire movie as well. It's crazy. You were seen by no less than 7 muggles. I can't do a Snape. I'm sorry, I can't do a Snape impersonation. I find Chamber of Secrets to be more entertaining than the Sorcerer's Stone. I think there's more going on and it has a greater mystery to it. But I'm gonna give it a slightly less grade because I think as a movie, it's just slightly a little bit off compared to Sorcerer's Stone. I'm gonna give the Chamber of Secrets a B+. So guys, what did you think of the Chamber of Secrets? Drop me some feedback in the comments section below. I will be talking about the Prisoner of Azkaban very soon. I think you guys will be surprised to hear what I have to say about Prisoner of Azkaban. So, you guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.